you put out every day. I'm not going to say the law of three times three, threefold law. That's not what this is about. I'm not even going to, like, you as a person, by how you are, the shit you espouse, there's power in the word. Be careful what you say.
Yes.
The word goes.
And be careful of what you don't say.
Yeah. Like, there's just a lot of irresponsibility here.
Mm-hmm. And I just can't shake the feeling that though she put it, or they, I don't know their pronouns,
Right.
Though they put in the article, oh, I didn't want to bring harm to him, I just wanted to inconvenience him. I just have a feeling that these things were not expressed to the witches who were hired.
No.
It was just, oh, I want to hex him. But I really don't think any of this was expressed to the hired witches, and that.
Hey, witches. So things are weird.
Very.
Republican, conservative, right-wing podcaster, political commentator, agitator, Charlie Kirk was murdered, as we all know. We shall not celebrate this in the sense of no murder should be celebrated.
No, it's not something to ever take glee in.
No. He had a wife and two relatively newborn kids, and now they are without a father, parents are without a son, siblings are without a brother, etc., wife without a husband. It's, on a human level, there's a lot of pain going on right there.
Yes.
So, you can't, there's no celebrating.
No.
In the sense that it happened, that there was a murder, but it is understandable the feelings that people have around this and how complicated it is.
Yes.
But that's not what this is about, obviously, because this is a witchcraft talk show.
Yes.
Obviously, this is another very special episode.
There's been so many of those since we started the show, hasn't there?
There has, and not for the best reasons.
No. In fact, usually not. More often than not, it's not for the best reason.
Yeah. But I think, as most of you probably have heard by now, witchcraft is directly related to this. Unfortunately, Jezebel on September 8th posted an article, as we all know, titled, "We Paid Some Etsy Witches to Curse Charlie Kirk." And that's what this is about. Not about Jezebel doing it, not about whether it was right or wrong. That is not at all what this is about, actually. There are certain people in the witchcraft, heathen, pagan, occult, magical practicing, left-hand path community who are very staunch that magic/witchcraft is not and should not be political. These certain people speak from a place of privilege. These people are usually white. Well, they are white.
Yeah, I've never seen a non-white person say that.
Yeah, usually a straight hetero male, and usually practices some type of Christian magical, like a path offshoot of Christianity. So things that have roots in Christianity, like Goeticism, Hermeticism, Thelema, things that have biblical reference, biblical root, biblical origin. We do not believe that.
No.
Witchcraft is fucking political.
Absolutely.
And it's always been fucking political.
It always has.
It has been life or death political in the past, the present,
and will be in the future.
And, you know, it's time to address the Jezebel article because it needs to be addressed. But more importantly, what needs to be addressed is in the conversation, what does this mean for us in the witchcraft community? What does it mean for us moving forward? What are the dangers? Are there dangers? And I mean,
absolutely.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
Yeah, there are dangers. Look, let's just get into the Jezebel article. Evanne and I will take turns reading. If the far-right misogynist with a bad haircut wants to villainize independent women, Jezebel is more than happy to be the hag of his nightmares. That's the byline. Now, there is an editor's note. It says this story was published on September 8th. Jezebel condemns the shooting of Charlie Kirk in the strongest possible terms. We do not endorse, encourage, or excuse political violence of any kind. So it just says it's written by Jezebel. It's obviously it's anonymous. I have my feelings on that, given that a name is mentioned of a magical practitioner. And that really actually worries me.
Yeah.
That people are going to look for her, dox her, etc. Or worse. So we know how shitty Charlie Kirk is. Like, Charlie Kirk was not a good person.
No.
He just wasn't. I don't, like, he just was not. He wasn't a good person.
No,
he was fucking racist. He was a misogynist. He was a fucking homophobe. He was fucking xenophobic. He was fucking prejudiced as fuck. He was Christian nationalist. Like, he was not good. He was not a good person. And he espoused really disgusting, nasty, hateful fucking shit all the fucking time and promoted gun violence as a justification in order to keep our Second Amendment rights. That, like, keeping our Second Amendment rights was so important that it was worth the sacrifice of a few hundred lives or whatever every year. Like, he wasn't a good person. He just wasn't.
No.
So, who is Charlie Kirk? We'll just, if you've never heard of him, I envy you. He debates college kids for sport, pops up on Fox News, and founded the right-wing conspiracy theory factory, Turning Point USA. Billed as a non-profit, Turning Point is less about charity and more about funneling far-right propaganda into dorm rooms under the guise of educating young voters. Throughout these various ventures, Kirk has transformed into a reliable pawn, parroting Project 2025 talking points and championing the owning of the libs. He's basically a fake news vending machine with a terrible haircut. Sadly, Trump's election only ensured I'd be seeing more of that god-awful haircut. The thing is, it's not wrong. That's an accurate description of Charlie Kirk.
That is true.
Western women are more miserable than ever. That's part of his ideology. He's obsessed with declining birth rates and idolizes the 1950s when women's only job was tending to children and husbands. So it says the ethics of cursing a stranger. Disclaimer. Now, is it ethical to curse a man I've never met? Probably not. But is it unethical to let him keep talking? Yes, so here we are in the gray area. Exactly. It would be unethical to let him keep talking. Like, because he's gross. And it's a gray area. Magic, witchcraft, it's gray. It's neither black nor white.
Exactly.
It just exists. Your intention, you take that magic, and the magic you have in your hand becomes filled with your intention, and then you send that chunk of magic out. Like...
Exactly. I mean, we've talked many times on the show about the fact that magic itself is neither ethical nor unethical. It's about the intention of whomsoever is casting the spell.
Exactly. So this goes on. I want to make it clear I'm not calling on dark forces to cause him harm. I just want him to wake up every morning with an inexplicable zit. I want his podcast microphone to malfunction every time he hits record. I want his blue blazers to suddenly all be one size too small. I want one of his socks to always be sliding down his foot. I want his thumb to grow too big to tweet. To ruin his day with the collective feminist power of the Etsy coven would be my life's greatest joy.
And another thing that we have touched on many times is if the person who cursed him wanted those specific things, they should have asked in no uncertain terms for those specific things.
Yeah.
Because I have a feeling that while that may have been the intention, that was not explicitly stated in the workings.
Exactly. I highly doubt she was like, go ahead and, like, I want him to have swollen thumbs so he can't text. I want, like... And then you're like, well, if you don't know witchcraft, well, how would that happen? Like, just suddenly swell. Allergic reaction, get stung by something, bit by something. Magic will find a natural way to enact the spell. As we have seen.
Yes.
I'm going to pass it on to Evanne, Buying the Curse.
Okay. Naturally, I did what any serious journalist would do. I typed curse enemy into Etsy's search bar. 5,000 results.
So, some of the spells.
Some of the spells were Karmic Revenge, Same Day Bad Luck Curse, Insanity Hex, or the author's personal favorite, Hex Republicans.
Yes.
Career Crusher Course. Then she found another one she was very excited about, Shit Your Pants spell.
Ah, yes.
With the review stating, it really worked, thank you. At that point, she decided she would need to order multiple curses.
Yes.
At different severity levels and price points to guarantee her results. The first one she purchased was a spell entitled Make Everyone Hate Him. She says, I was left with more questions than answers. How long would it take to kick in? Should I have splurged for a pricier spell to make it work faster? Shortly after, the witch messaged me trying to upsell me a $50 spell booster.
Of course.
Which we got into in our Etsy episode. So if you guys haven't watched that,
go check it out.
Definitely check it out. The witch explained it would...
We'll link it at the end of the episode.
Yes. The witch explained when asked that this would amplify the energetic support, end quote, of the main spell.
Right.
Or else she could let it unfold in its natural timing, so she purchased the booster.
Right.
Next, for the powerful hex spell that she ordered, she had to provide Kirk's date of birth for accuracy. The witch performed the hex, but her response was unsettling.
Okay.
She said, I just completed your spell and it was successful. You will see the first results within 2 to 3 weeks. However, I did notice disturbances. Negative energy not only from you, but projected at you. Likely from toxic family members, co-workers, or new acquaintances.
Of course.
She then followed that up with, would you like to purchase a protection spell?
Of course.
Of course. Always with the upsells.
Always.
With these Etsy witches. So here's where she mentions a name. She reached out to a third witch.
No, we won't name.
No, we're not going to name the person. But she reached out to a third witch whose business name she gives in the article for clarification. This third witch explained that the differences in prices aren't about better or faster magic, but rather the complexity of the spell work. Some workings are small, focused intentions with minimal tools, while others are more intricate and involve rare ingredients, more time, and sometimes even repeated castings to build up and direct the energy for our clients. She had questions about, or the author, excuse me, the author had some more questions about what ingredients were used to curse Charlie. A MAGA hat submerged in flames, an IUD. She also questioned if enough people cursed a single person, would the results be stronger? She asked the witch about this, to which she said, clients often turn to spells when they feel unheard or powerless in the usual systems. Our magic becomes both a personal release and a way of reclaiming control. Whether the target is a boss, an ex, a public figure, the underlying current is the same. People want to shift the energy in their lives and the world around them. Yeah.
So she says that the next day, the priestess sent her proof of the cast. It was a photograph in flames, engulfing Charlie's face. Right. She whispered, I imagine, trust the unseen. Chills. So she timed the purchase with the August new moon in Virgo. Since, according to the astrology girls on TikTok, this specific new moon is the perfect time for forming new habits and aligning goals, which is true. Her goal, cursing Kirk. Sunday, August 24th passed, nothing. She said Tuesday rolled around and began to wonder if she had been scammed, but then she reminded herself that this is witchcraft and not Amazon. The forces operate on their own schedule, which is true.
That is true.
And
heck, sometimes even Amazon does the same thing.
So in that time, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce announced their engagement, and he tweeted, young women should get married just like Taylor Swift is planning to, you will be happier. He then told Taylor Swift to reject feminism, submit to your husband, Taylor. So Utah State University, where the shooting happened, students there launched a petition to bar him and Turning Point USA from visiting the campus. Charlie Kirk, a highly polarizing figure, does not align with the core values and ideology that Utah State University strives to epitomize, the petition read. The petition had been launched on the 22nd of August and had already been signed over 3,800 times. So he then said on his show to Taylor Swift that she should submit to your husband, Taylor, you're not in charge. She said, so in witches we trust. So did my Etsy curses work? Time will tell. The forces move in mysterious ways, and as the priestess reminded me, spellwork is a collaboration between the caster, the client, and the universe itself, which is all true. For now, we can only trust in the timing of the great unknown. A special thank you to the witches of the modern age who work tirelessly to hex Republicans and topple conservative regimes, and the occasional ex-boyfriend. Your work is appreciated. And to you, Mr. Kirk, may the rash come swiftly. Okay. So... this is, because of this article, this has quickly entered the discourse.
Oh, yes.
It was done on the new moon, August 29th. Or August 24th, excuse me. In the past couple of weeks, Kirk has really pissed off the neo-Nazis. Whoever did this could very easily be part of a right-wing, far-right, neo-Nazi, white supremacist organization. We don't know. Obviously, at this point, things are still coming in. There were rumors that they had arrested a guy who was a person of interest, but it turned out that he was not. He was cleared. He had nothing to do with it. But, I mean, this was done. This was hired.
Yes.
All I'm going to say is we know how magic, witchcraft, we know how it works.
Exactly.
We know how it works.
We do.
That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm not going to address, I don't think either of us are going to address whether it worked, didn't work, if it was magic, if it was just whatever. All I will repeat is we all know how magic, witchcraft, etc. works. We know how it operates through the universe, through the natural forces, through people, to make what you put out happen. That's not what this is about. This is about now the actual aftermath. I think, here's the thing. You do a spell, for example, to make someone shit their pants. Okay? Did you specify how you want them to shit their pants? Because the common way people shit their pants is when they freaking die. They die, and they defecate, and they piss themselves.
Exactly.
Like, I grew up around dead bodies. I know this. Like,
did you say that it was to be from eating some funky food?
Right. There are so many ways that a person can end up involuntarily defecating themselves. And if you don't specify how you would like that to happen, it could very easily be because of death. Yeah. It's just, I don't think, I'm not blaming Jezebel. Let me also be very clear. I'm not blaming Jezebel. I am not blaming whoever did this. I am not passing blame on anybody, responsibility. That's a dangerous fucking slope. What I will say is, there was not enough thought put into the ramifications, repercussions of any of these spells. And as witches, we have an ethical responsibility with every spell we cast, especially in the hexing department. In the baneful, malefic hex department, there is ethical questions that need to be examined. Before you proceed with hexing, you really need to not only think about how you want to hex, how you want that to manifest, but also what are the repercussions, what are the ramifications of the hex that you're doing. And she hired, she paid 3 different witches to cast 3 different hexes. Like, you don't know the procedure of the spell.
No.
You don't know what the witch did. You don't know what spell the witch picked, whether they crafted their own, or if they used a more current one from a spell book they bought at a metaphysical shop, or if it's from, a spell that's fucking 2,000-3,000 years old, 500 years old. Like, you have no idea. Because depending on when the spell was crafted, will also depend on the ingredients used, or the processes used.
Exactly.
Were spirits involved.
Right. I also think that while I'm not passing judgment on moving forward with the spell in general, I do think that if you're going to do a spell like this, you do have a responsibility to be specific in your wording and what you're requesting to happen. Right.
If you were like, I just want what in her little intro, they spoke about, like, oh, I'm not trying to seek out dark forces, blah, blah, blah. I just want him to get a big thumb. I want his sock to fall down, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's puppycraft. Like, here's the thing. You don't know what magical operations those witches performed.
Exactly.
You don't know what forces they tapped into, and I'm guessing you didn't think to ask because you didn't actually take it seriously.
No.
Because if you had actually taken this whole thing seriously, you would have known you would have first gotten advice from a witch. You would have gone to a metaphysical shop. You would have gone to a temple. You would have gone and you would have maybe reached out to Selena Fox, Silver Raven,
Right.
Lori Cabot, some notable fucking witches. And been like, hey, I have a question. Not about cursing, because of course they'd be like threefold law, like
Right.
that wasn't your point. You weren't looking for that. But you could have, if you were taking it seriously, you would have reached out to some reputable witch or another and been like, hey, for spell work, what is the operation? Fuck, you would have bought a spell book.
Yeah.
You would have just bought a spell book and read where it tells you about the operations of magic, the operations of witchcraft, about thought, intention, about fucking taking time and thinking about what you're doing, what you want, and to be specific. You have to be so specific. You cannot be vague.
No.
And if you just reached out to these witches and you were like, you bought whatever hex they were offering, you don't know what forces they reached out to, for example, enforce and make sure that everybody hated him. Maybe they sent his base, and next thing you know, he's pissing off the Nazis.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
And had you taken it seriously, you would have taken the time, just like you would in any other area of study in your life, you would have taken the time to educate yourself about what you're doing.
Yes.
But it just seems like that was not done here.
No. If you were taking it seriously, you wouldn't have bought like 3 different hexes. Like
this honestly, like what this read like when I was reading through the article was like a 12-year-old playing Mary Bloody Mary in the mirror.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it was irresponsible.
Yeah.
I don't blame the witches. They did what they were paid to do.
Right, they did their jobs.
They did their jobs. Like, but what does this mean now? Well, it's getting bad. Like, I mean, let's just be clear. The right wing, the Christians, the Christian right, they're latching onto this fucking spell thing. It is spreading like wildfire. And witches, you need to arm yourselves. It's time to prepare. It is time to prepare. Will this be the closing of metaphysical shops? The raiding of metaphysical shops? Will things like shows like this, commentators, channels like this on YouTube be fucking doxxed, be scanned, be watched, be shut down? I don't know. Do I think that there will be an increase in these like protests and marches and shit on metaphysical shops and community backlash against witches and witchcraft shops? Yes.
Yeah.
I think, I'm going to be honest, the shooter, that's going to come and go. The lasting effect is going to be that Jezebel hired witches on Etsy to do this.
Exactly.
And that witches and witchcraft are to blame. And that this is a real war. It is a real battle between them and the forces of darkness.
Which we've already seen such leanings toward that anyway, but now...
Even from our own vice president on the campaign trail.
But
this is already being set up.
But now it's given them such a more concrete reason.
Exactly. We need to be careful. Like, I mean, there are people, commentators, who are not pagan, commentators, witchcraft commentators, who are talking about this. And so many of them have been like, I'm an atheist, or I've never really believed in witches or witchcraft, but now finding out about this article and everything, I'm starting to second guess.
And
question if witchcraft is real. This is validating.
In the worst way.
My honest opinion, do I think that the hiring of these Etsy witches, do I think that one or all of them, do I think that the spell worked? Yes. You know how witchcraft works.
Yeah.
Like, it moves through natural means, spells were cast, and I am sure that the author, the writer of Jezebel, was not the only person who has hexed Charlie Kirk. I have no doubt. It even said in the article, she was like, are you getting more and more requests to hex political people?
Right.
And the answer was yes. Like, and I have no doubt that, I mean, Trump is cursed daily.
Oh yeah. And honestly, I can really see the uptick in cursing Charlie Kirk specifically, having seen an uptick after the Taylor Swift comments, just given how rabid and parasocial her fan base can be.
Yes.
So I have no doubt that there were many after those comments.
Yeah. Like, you put out every day. I'm not going to say the law of three times three, threefold law. That's not what this is about. I'm not even going to, like, you as a person, by how you are, the shit you espouse, there's power in the word. Be careful what you say.
Yes.
The word goes.
And be careful of what you don't say.
Yeah. Like, there's just a lot of irresponsibility here.
Mm-hmm. And I just can't shake the feeling that though she put it, or they, I don't know their pronouns,
Right.
Though they put in the article, oh, I didn't want to bring harm to him, I just wanted to inconvenience him. I just have a feeling that these things were not expressed to the witches who were hired.
No.
It was just, oh, I want to hex him. But I really don't think any of this was expressed to the hired witches, and that is the issue that I have with it.
And who knows, maybe Jezebel will see this high, and someone will produce exactly what was requested, and it will be like, please give him a big toe.
Right.
And, but I don't think so.
Just given the way that the article read and the way that the thought process was explained, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see that happening.
No. What I do see happening is a backlash starting against the witchcraft, pagan, heathen community.
Absolutely.
The entire occult spectrum. I think this is going to become, once again, boiled down to pagans and Christians. And I think sides will have to be chosen. I think this is going to be really bad.
I do too.
For us, for our community. You can't take this lightly. It's not going to blow over. Things have changed. Charlie Kirk was a huge cult personality. The fact that, and the facts are facts, on the 24th of August, on the new moon, these spells, these hexes were cast. About, 3 weeks later?
Which, that's exactly what the witch said. It was going to be 2 and 3 weeks later when the results were seen, and behold.
I mean, we know how witchcraft works. We know how it works. We know how magic operates. We know how it moves through the world, through the natural world, to manifest what we want. You know, it's not... I always liken it to that scene in, if you've seen it, in The Polar Express, when the ticket is lost. And it gets blown by the wind off the train, and yet the wind and the seas, the rivers, the running of wolves kick it up and just carry it, and it eventually finds its way back. Exactly. With a bunch of natural forces that the magic works through to get that ticket there. Like, you know, you want to... I don't know, you want to be fucking late for something. You know, you don't want to be on time for something for whatever reason. And suddenly you're literally catching every light, you're catching every accident, or you need to get to someplace really, really fast. And you're getting every green light, and the streets are fucking clear. You never fucking, like, there's no traffic. Like, you get where you need to go. Like, that's all, the universe is all magic. That's all your spell operating in very practical ways to make things happen. You know, that's just how it works. It's not sparks and woo, and it's sudden, and it's through natural things. You know, like we said, you cast a spell to make someone shit their pants. If you don't specify that can happen, it's not just they're going to suddenly shit themselves for no reason.
Right.
The spell is going to operate through natural means, so maybe a fucking food poisoning, or some kind of virus, or death.
Right.
To achieve involuntary defecation. Like, you need to specify the involuntary defecation and how you want that to happen. Otherwise, any way can make that happen. Because magic operates through whatever means. So, I don't know. We will continue to monitor the situation. We'll continue to keep you guys posted. We'll continue to examine all of this moving forward in the coming days and weeks, the coming lunar cycles. Obviously, this was not expected.
No.
And the thing is, as soon as it happened, I had a feeling. I was like, somehow, some way, this involves either queer people or witches, and I really hope it's neither. And I texted that to Evanne as soon as, and I was like, I hope that this is not a situation.
And I
had a feeling it was.
And as soon as you told me, I had the same feeling. I was like, I hope that it's not either, but I really felt like it was. And then, of course, it came out.
The Jezebel article.
Yes.
And
yeah.
So, you guys need to be careful out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Keep supporting your witch content creators. again, if you please support. We would love we really appreciate all of your support, continued support. If you're new here and this is your first time watching us, this is not how our shows normally are. Please watch our previous episodes to get a more accurate taste of who we are and what our show is about. But thank you for you returning viewers. As always, thank you for watching. Welcome back. If you like what you see, if you enjoyed this, obviously, please, we love your support. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and help us to continue to build our beautiful, baneful, and blessed coven right here in our corner of the circle. And yeah, so thank you, and be safe, and blessed be to all of you.
Yes, be vigilant, but continue to be yourself.
Blessed be.
Blessed be.